What's up guys, it's Jo and welcome back to another video. The other day, I weighed myself for every single major event that happened during that day. When I woke up, after I pooped, when I drank water, and other major events. Not telling you guys to do this, but I wanted to show you the weight fluctuations that happen throughout the day and the changes in our body that happen through bloating and de-bloating, which is a very normal process. So we could really understand it and be a little bit kinder to our body. We are human beings. We're not in an environment that is like a laboratory where every single thing is controlled. Most of the times, we very much rely on our weight to tell us about the progress that we're making in our body. And more often than not, we place our worth on the number on the scale. But the scale doesn't tell you all of the amazing things that you can do. We take away all of the other things that we can do and all of the other things that we are in life. It only tells you the relationship of your mass to gravity that's been bestowed upon Earth. We allow ourselves to think badly of ourselves if that number increases. Not gonna lie, I still go through that process where I look at the scale and if it budges up, I feel like my sense of worth automatically declines and I wonder what's my purpose on Earth, right? Let's get into the video. It was a rough journey because if you weigh yourself every day and if you weigh yourself every week, you know how taxing that is. So imagine weighing yourself throughout the day for almost every major event. For somebody who's still kind of recovering from that mindset, medyo mahirap at masakit makita yung scale. I just really want to be able to show the realness and the real changes our bodies go through. So I want to start off by saying that weight fluctuations throughout the day and bloating is normal. Average weight fluctuation throughout the day can be 5 to 6 pounds, maybe even 5 to 10 pounds. I'm not going to show my actual weight in this video because that would defeat the whole purpose, as I know people would probably compare their weight to my weight, as that's what I would do. So I'm just going to use this as a baseline and put plus or minus for the weight throughout the day. This is impacted by so many factors. Drinking water. Also, in hindsight, probably should have used post-poop weight as the baseline. Water. There's about 1 liter of water right here. After drinking water. Exercising, especially if you're not properly hydrated. Changed my outfit.
Changed it so I don't sweat into my experimental outfit. With a workout, I sweat through my sports bra, and this is what's happening here.
Also, food volume. The minute you eat, you're going to gain weight, and not necessarily because it's turned to fat. That's just because food has weight. Like when you're filling up a bag, you basically filled up the bag of your stomach with food, and it needs time to digest.
Peanut butter and fruit toast, cashew cheese and seitan toast, a toasted groom. You sure? Yeah. There we go. This is post breakfast. Oh, my butt is looking pumped right now. Hey, hey. Pre-lunch. This is the body before lunchtime. It's lunch.
Okay, so I don't have to think about lunch tomorrow.
This
Longer in charge of lunch tomorrow.
This is lunch. A big bowl of noodles and soup. After water and lunch.
Peeing.
Pre-pee. After peeing.
Your time of the month, because sometimes you'll retain more water, sometimes 5 to 10 pounds more pre-period. Your body is kind of getting mad that you're not pregnant. That's not fat, it's just water retention because, for example, you had a lot of sodium or salty foods the day before. Having a little bit more carbohydrates than you usually have, because carbohydrates tend to hold on to water, and that's fine. When carbs are consumed, they're stored in the body as glycogen for reserved energy, and they need water to be able to be stored. It's not fat. That's why you can't rely on the scale as your main source of your progress, because there are many factors. Alcohol intake, because there are some alcohols that tend to be a diuretic and let you flush out a lot more water. Your amount of sleep, any medications, all of these things impact your weight. So we can't really put our value or our worth on the scale weight. And if you are trying to monitor your progress in terms of weight, that's totally fine. I do highly suggest that, of course, you weigh yourself at the same time every day with the same clothes as much as possible, because that will give you the most accurate, or at least as close to accurate result, and average it throughout the week and not focus on your day-to-day changes, because day-to-day changes are so variable as there are so many factors that you have to consider. Again, I want to emphasize, we're not lab rats, we're human beings in a human environment that is not controlled. Every single day is different because of the fact that we have days where we're not that hungry. We have days that we're so hungry. There are days that we move a lot, and there are days that we move a little bit less. So every day your weight can change, and that's totally fine. It doesn't automatically mean that you gained fat or that you're losing progress. Research has actually shown that our highest weight is usually on Sunday nights, and lowest weights are often on Friday morning. We like to eat a little bit differently from the weekends to the weekdays, and that's totally normal. You have to remember that one meal or one day does not automatically scratch off your progress. If you're trying to track your progress not just through your scale, but also try to get as much data points as you can. You can measure with a measuring tape, you can take photos, look at your body fat percentage, your muscle mass, and also journaling. Write down how you feel about that time of the month that you were in when you weighed yourself and when you took your progress photos, and ask yourself how you felt about your body, how you're feeling in general, your motivations, and all of those things, because that's very important to consider the next time you check for progress. Maybe the scale didn't budge, but you felt lighter and you felt stronger, and that's way more important than what the scale says, and that's what it is. And the next thing I wanted to talk about was bloating. Oftentimes we associate bloating with gaining weight or being fat, and that's not the case at all. Bloating is not a disease or something that we have to be afraid of or something that we have to fix, because it is just a sign of normal digestion.
Day weigh in after snacks and all that. Pre-dinner, a lot of the swelling, a lot of the bloating kind of gone down a little bit, still a little bit there, but yeah.
But if this bloating does come with a lot of pain, gas, nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, distension, where it's really big and painful and causes so much pain in your day that you can't seem to move or function properly, you should probably check with a physician, because there might be some digestive problems you gotta get through, like SIBO, IBS, celiac disease, and those food intolerances. Gas. Regular bloating on a daily basis is normal. 10 to 30% of healthy individuals experience bloating as a normal sign of digestion. When you wake up a little bit more tight and you go to bed with a food baby, that's totally normal.
After dinner. This is now after dinner. Some water. Alright.
Other possible causes of bloating could also be constipation, gas buildup, food volume, exercise, water intake. A question that I have encountered is, nakaka-bloat ba yung tubig? And yes, for a time that you drink it, but then once you pee it out, you'll be fine. Plus, drinking water can also help you reduce further bloating. Stress can also cause bloating, mostly because our hormone levels are off the charts and our water retention changes depending on time of the month and all of those things. Certain medications can also cause more water retention. You can also see if your medications had that side effect, so you don't worry too much. We're always talking about beating the bloat. Bloating is not a sign of a change in body composition. We have angles where our abs are popping, and we have angles where everything lays out there, and you're beautiful either way, because it shows you that you are human, and it shows you have a healthy digestive system, and you don't have to be perfect 24/7. If you are, that's great. But I do have a few tips that you can try to help reduce bloating or minimize the bloating that you experience throughout the day. Eat slower. Try to practice mindful eating, not eating distractedly or in a rush, but really appreciating every single bite and listening to your hunger signals. Our tendency is when we're eating too fast, we're filling up our stomach and air, that we get more bloated when we're speed eating. To have more small, frequent meals. Depending on you, of course, if you want to eat every 3 hours or every 2 hours to keep you from getting too hungry. Also to allow your body to have a little bit more of a free time digesting and just to keep you more energized throughout the day. Because when you've skipped a meal, the next meal that you have tends to become much larger and more than you anticipated to eat, which also leads to eating fast because you were so hungry because you skipped those meals. And this really happens, especially in times when I've had lunch and I wasn't able to have a snack in the middle of the day. By the time I get to dinner, I'm so hungry, I eat so fast, and I feel so bloated, and it hurts. It hurts a lot. Eating 2 large meals, and not 2, I mean like really large meals, just because, you know, there's a lot more food volume in there. This is very individual because our bodies react to food very differently. So assess the kinds of food that you're eating, and if it causes you a lot more pain than usual, then you can consider if you want to incorporate it in your diet slowly before having big amounts of it, or just see how you feel with it. Carbonated drinks for me, I can only have like this much. Another tip is to increase your fiber, but again, do it gradually. Especially if you're going from eating patterns that weren't having so much fiber, and then you start incorporating a lot of fiber in your diet, the tendency is there will be a lot more gas and a lot more pain as your body's not used to it. So if you're trying to incorporate more fiber into your meals, try to do it slowly and gradually so you don't shock your body. Eating too late at night too, or eating too close to bedtime just because you don't have enough time to digest your food completely, I'd recommend not eating at least 2 hours before you sleep so that your stomach has enough time to digest its food. Not drinking enough water can also cause bloating because you're retaining a lot more water and sodium. Fun fact, if you drink more water, you also release more water, so... Next day. As you saw, my weight changed so much throughout the day. It went up and down and up and down. But the next day, when I weighed myself again, it was just food volume. It wasn't automatically fat or anything like that. It's normal. Our body needs to react to the environment and things that happen throughout the day. We can't assume that it's not going to. Normalize the bloat. Normalize the bloat. So that's the end of this video. We worry way too much about the scale and how we look throughout the day rather than the long-term changes that have occurred, and we automatically feel discouraged. But there's so many aspects that affect our weight and our body throughout the day because our environment changes. We're stressed, the seasons change, life in general, and we can't expect our bodies to stay the same all the time because we're human. Show off that bloat and don't worry too much about the number on the scale. Focus instead on listening to your body and trusting your body by fueling it with food that you enjoy and make you feel good and moving in a way that you enjoy. So that's the end of this video. And before I say goodbye, if you ever want nutrition and fitness plans, my email is in the description below. If you found this video helpful, send it to your friend. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the thumbs up. I'll see you guys in the next video. Stay fab!